I don't know what it is, man, but I just don't like the CX50 as much as I love the CX5. I feel like I'm not the only one either. Even though the CX5 has aged like crazy, if you ask me, it probably aged like a really, really good French. It has managed to sell double that of the CX50, and there really is a very minimal cost or size difference, not to mention very similar inventory levels. In this video, I want to examine how the CX50 compares to the CX5 when it comes to sales and why Mazda is giving away the CX50 with red hot incentives and ultra low APR financing for you to not take the CX5. Let's break down the four most important buying factors, including real-time sales and inventory data, the discount I would target off MSRP, current incentives and the lease program, and lastly, I'll tell you as a car guy what I would do. Get the CX50 or go for the CX5. Are you ready? Let's go. For the sake of comparison, let's put the CX50 and the CX5 in the same bucket with the RAV4, CR-V, and the rest of the segment. What constitutes a good year sales-wise for the CX5 since it came out in 2015? We're talking about 150,000 with a record set in 2021 at 163,000. Last year, they came pretty close to selling about 153,000. For the CX50, it's a bit of a different story. It came out in 2022, and last year they only sold 44,000 units, and so far this year they've only sold about 52,000 units. And CX5s, you're talking about 95,000 units this year. Its competitors, the RAV4 has cleared 319,000 units and the CR-V about 268,000 units. Don't worry guys, you don't have to pause at any point during the video. By clicking here or the link in the description below, you can see a whole summary of all the data in this video. However, hang tight and let me just explain exactly why this data is important and how to use it. Inventory-wise, we've got about 11,200 CX50s and 14,400 CX5s, while Subaru and Toyota have similar levels of their vehicles, with Honda and Nissan having an oversupply of theirs. Trim by trim, the preferred or the premium is the way to go on the CX50. So I picked out a CX50 preferred all-wheel drive from CarGurus.com, and mine has an MSRP of $34,070. CX5 prices are actually very, very close, and a comparable CX5 preferred is about $1,000 less than this. Now with Mazda dealers, I've noticed the best deal I've ever got strictly just off the MSRP has been about 5%. This has been before any rebates or lease cash. In essence, with a 5% discount, our CX50's target price would drop to $32,366. 5% is the percentage to focus on, though, regardless of your MSRP. I've never actually seen Mazda do any wild incentives like they're currently doing with remaining 2024 CX50s. Mazda is currently doing 0.9% financing at 60 months, and if you don't take the promotional APR, you can opt for a $2,500 rebate, bringing your target selling price closer to $30,000 if you decide to buy the CX50, and if you're going to finance through a third party and not take the 0.9% financing. As far as the lease program, let's dissect it a little bit, shall we? It's got a 58% residual at 36 months and 12,000 miles a year, and a 0.00034 money factor, which is like 1% APR. No lease cash. However, they are offering $1,000 in conquest cash, which is basically $1,000 to anyone that has a 2016 or newer competitive brand vehicle, such as a Toyota, Honda, Subaru, etc. Plugging this all into the lease calculator, assuming you get 5% off sticker, assuming you're paying your inception fees due at start, and assuming you hit like and subscribe, we'd be talking about $367 a month. That's not including tax. I don't mind that payment at all. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Now, what would I do personally? Let me make this very, very clear. I've loved the CX5 since it was redesigned back 100 years ago. it seems like. It was redesigned back in 2015, updated last year-ish. But anyways, I've never not recommended the CX5 to anybody throughout this 2015 to current generation. The CX50, though, has failed to do that for me. The CX5 is going to hold resale better by a couple percentage points. It's a tiny bit cheaper, and right now, you're wrong if you think I'm going to tell you to skip the CX50. Get the CX50. 100% get the CX50. Reason being is that it's close enough to the CX5, and for some reason, it's a harder sell. It's like a Pepsi next to a Coke. Notice though, I didn't say Diet Pepsi and Diet Coke. Big difference here. Pull the trigger on a brand new CX50, but I'm going to recommend leasing it for right now. If you aren't planning on leasing or aren't crazy about leasing, I'm not against buying. However, my recommendation then would be to run it through the loan calculators down to the penny, making sure it's smarter to take the rebate depending on the rate you qualify for, because in some cases, it'll make more sense to skip the rebate and just take the promo APR. Everything that I mentioned in this video is available for you by clicking here or the links in the description below. If you'd like to book a quick call with me to discuss your situation, my schedule is in that description box as well. If you found this information useful, please consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.